sorry. To get the clicker, it's about 3 seconds. Fast people are 2 seconds only. Slow people 4, some 5 seconds, but it's a lot 5. Let's say between 2 and 4 seconds to get the clicker. It's quite popular timing. Of course, this alignment we already presented is important to keep this aligned. Finally, the expansion should allow a release in the arrow axis, not on the side way, for example, or vertical way, it doesn't matter. So this is important to understand. If your student respect all these fundamentals, the expansion is quite efficient, whatever they use. Understand? So here we have one that we will, is maybe not popular in India, but we will see soon a video explaining this one. This is the natural one. When we have our hand like this, we pull, our blades are moving away. You see the yellow arrows? You can do it again. Your blades are moving away. They don't go inside each other. They don't join each other. This is, let's say, the most natural one for beginners. And it can be trained on different things, on different technique. For example, a few seconds. If we look at the bow side, the bow shoulder, let's say, it's quite obvious. I go fast. It's this when we do this with your arm extended on each side and you try to increase your wingspan, or if you like on the right picture, keeping your body vertically, you try to push something. You see what happened? We'll see now on the next one. The bow shoulder, the bow blade goes away from the spine. You see the orange arrow, I hope? So that means the bottom is wrong. If your blade, bow blade, goes towards the spine, you reduce your bow, your draw length. So no, the blade should not go toward each one like this. And to do this few seconds, I'm coming back. Now I would like we do something. Okay, share the screen. We go on this one. This one. Yes, this one. Bigger. A few seconds, it will become bigger. Là. Please look at this. This is the Olympic champion in London. I hope you hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, we go.
자세의 힘이 양쪽 어깨를 어떻게 받치고 있는지, 어떻게 받쳐야 되는지
explaining his technique.
그런 부분을 제가 제 느낌대로 말씀을 드릴 거고요. 어깨를 물론 어깨의 힘을 유지하고 있다는 것은 물론 활을 들었을 때 어깨 힘을 꽉 잡고 있는 이 왜?
Hand when he's explaining. Have you seen?
내용적인 부분이 아니라 힘을
like
이렇게.
We apply power on both shoulder, and you see his hand. They are moving away each one. They don't go close to each one.
앞뒤팔 흐르듯이 양쪽으로 이렇게 흐르듯이 힘을 써주시는 게 그게 어깨를.
So this is why if we teach to move only one blade, the balance is difficult. And this is why we have called it expansion and not extension, because extension means too much draw. Many coaches focus too much on the string blade, move the string blade. No, it's not a movement, and it's not a movement from one side. It is an expansion, both. It should be balanced. We continue?
Yeah.
받치고 있는 그런 힘이 유지가 되는 거거든요. 아무래도 한쪽 오른쪽만 당기고 있다 보면 왼쪽을 받치려고
effort on one side, on one arm, you are unbalanced. It's difficult to balance what does one extended arm and with one flex arm. No, this is very difficult. This is why the expansion should come from the body around your thorax, both sides, not only one side.
하고 있지만 오른쪽은 힘을 계속 쓰고 있기 때문에 왼쪽이 같이 무너질 수가 있겠죠. 그러니까 오른쪽을 쓸 때 왼쪽을
push your right shoulder, not when you pull the right shoulder. When you push it away. This is what he is doing, this Olympic champion. His right shoulder, his right hand, the string blade, he push it away.
받치는 게 아니라 왼쪽 힘을 같이 양쪽으로, 양쪽 방향으로.
Move your blade like this.
써주는 느낌으로. 네. 팔을 쓸 때는 고무줄을 우리가 양쪽으로 당겼을 때 가운데를 딱 끊었을 때 고무줄이 딱 떨어지듯이 그런 밸런스를 맞춰 주시는 게 가장 중요해요.
So now he is explaining the release. So that means when we expand is if a bit we are extending, stretching an elastic, and if we cut the elastic, this is where the release happens, and so on. Okay, I think the rest is not important. I have a look.
어깨가 이렇게 바로 서 있거나 아니면 빠져 있거나 이런 부분은 중요하잖아요.
So his both shoulder is not totally aligned. I think it's not very important. So I stop to share this one. So a few seconds. Okay. We are back? Yes, you are back. So we go back on this again. Oops, sorry. I don't share my screen. We come back to this. Share. So this is a technique of this guy, but on two, oh, sorry. Okay. So when we expand, what is important is the distance. The distance, especially between the arrow and the shoulder, this should be the same. If not, we are in deformation, and we have to repeat this deformation, which is quite complicated. This distance also. Here, this is a trick to train how to expand mainly on the bow side. The coach pull an elastic, and he will pull through the release. The same can be applied on the string side, we will see later. Of course, take care for safety. Eh?
Mr. Pascal, explain a bit on the, as far as the expansion which you are talking about. So yes, it is very clear that you need to push on the left-hand side, which is the bow side. So when you are pushing, your left shoulder blade is expanding in that direction. Similarly, when you are pulling, as you said, when you cut the string, the right shoulder blade is pulling in the other direction. So that is expanding. But what happens to the back muscle?
So I will
what
answer.
What happens to the back muscles? That back
so,
muscles, are they contracting the latissimus dorsi? Is it contracting while the shoulders are expanding? So when shoulders expanding, the left shoulder blade expanding.
Yes. There are two subjects here. There is expansion and release. Release and follow through. Release is a part of follow through. That means pending our mode of expansion, release is different. There is no one release for common to all expansion technique. All expansion technique has its particular follow-through form of release. From the bow side, from the string side, both. All should continue. So pending the mode of expansion, the continuation is not the same. Just a few seconds, we will clarify this point now. For example, here you have three types of expansion. On the left is blade away like Mr. O. Jing Heck. Here, on the middle, it's a classical back tension when the elbow go a little bit more on the back. And on the right side, a very, very popular technique with beginner, young archer, blade doesn't move at all. Just the posterior part of the deltoid will work. But for expansion on the string side, there are different possibilities, not like the bow side. Bow side is simple. We just have to move the blade to the target, and that is.
Very true. The bow side is very simple.
Very simple. String side, there are different ones here. So the goal is to help archers to identify what they are doing. Here you have four assistants, mimics. If you do this, you put if you are right hand, you put your left hand on your right elbow and force. And see what does the boy in blue on the top left here. You see below someone, coach, help with an elastic, the same exercise almost. On the top right is also the same, but the coach holds the bow. And we don't see very well on the bottom left, it is Santiago who was supposed to be with us. And you can see he has an elastic attached to his elbow to the target. Do you see it? Very thin line here. You see? Okay. So we have to help beginners to understand how they do. Now we have this popular back tension. We see the string blade going to the spine. It works, but take care to something. It is a very fantastic technique, but the problem is, you see the red arrows, there is a risk of rotation around the bow shoulder like this. So archers who are using back tension have to be very strong in core the body. Keep the shoulders constantly right above hips and feet. Do not allow some twisting. If there is twist, we can see at the bottom the alignment between eye, string, sight, and target will be disturbed.
Pascal, the last line is not visible. Can you show the last line? Because that is missing out. So can
the last line?
Yeah, you see what is next to the wall. So what is written there is not visible.
Next to the wall.
Last line is not visible. So can you?
The one before? No. One?
All the three. There's something written beneath that. We can't see what is written beneath that.
There is nothing written excepted expansion, string blade inward. This is the only text that we have.
So that word we are not able to see.
Extension, it's a back tension. It's back tension.
Back tension is written the second one, so we are able to see that.
Yeah, you see the two blue arrows that showing the deviation of the elbow.
Yeah.
If the elbow move a bit, it's not a problem. The problem is on the picture below, if all body twist like this. This is a big problem. And many, many back tension users cannot keep a line, eye, string, sight, and target because they twist. They make some sort of lever. Yeah, this is a problem. So when we move the blade like this. So we see now the same technique. We see the blade, the string blade going inside. And many archers use it. It's okay, especially in compound, because in compound, since we use a peep sight, we cannot misalign the alignment eye, peep, scope, target, because we have to keep the peep centered with scope. But in recurve archery, the string is unfocused, is a bit blurry. So we don't realize some minimum, some little deviation because all body is rotating and twisting. Eh? So this technique is okay as long as the shoulder don't deviate. The orientation of the shoulder should remain the same, exactly right above hips and feet. And usually we see the lady at the bottom. This is a lady, the only archers who score above 1400, men and women included, in 4 distance. And you see the hand finish just after this sternocleidomastoid muscle. I don't know how it is in English, by the way. It is a classical follow-through of form of release of this technique of back tension. Well, this is not very important. This is to train. But it could be also some people do back tension a bit up, like we can see on the right picture, or a bit down. It will change the release. For example, this man on the right, who has a tendency to move the blade inside and up, according to you, where will finish the bow hand? A bit down, close to the chest. If you move like this, up your elbow and scapula, your hand goes down. The problem is the ring finger maybe will not hold well on the string. Eh? It's a problem, this, yeah. But some people move inside down, like this one. It's more popular, this one, more popular. The problem is anchor sometimes decrease. The strain, the consistency of the anchor decrease. And the release is very different. You see now? Of course, if you can mime, if you squeeze your blade down inside, your hands wants to go up, your string hand. And this is to answer to your question, Sanjiva.
Yeah.
The form of release depends on how you expand. When we see the release of someone, we should ask, how do you expand? And try to see if there is a coherence, a cohesion, I don't know, a consistency between expansion and the form of release. But both are okay, all technique works. This is a blade away, like Mr. Oh Jing Ek. We saw it. Okay, I pass because we saw it. So the release is quite short. You will see soon. Usually it's like this. But for, try to say this, to strengthen the follow through, we can add more movement. But usually, and especially in Korea, all beginners start with a short release first. Because if you ask a long follow through, maybe they will engage a movement. But release is not a movement. Release is just a continuation of all that is going, all is running, all is ongoing. The same here, short release, you see? Yeah. Oh, this is not important. Now I would like, yeah, this notion of expansion is mainly based on using the muscles around your chest, especially in the back chest, and to create a balance. Because if we use the muscles, these big muscles on your back, close to your chest, it's almost symmetric. It's difficult to use only one side. But with arm, it could be very easily unbalanced because it's not easy to balance what does an extended arm and a flex arm. This we saw already. So we'll see another video and come back to this in a few seconds. So I stop to share the, oops, sorry, some people are moving. Stop sharing the screen and we share another one. This one, share. Sorry, I miss, it's not what I wanted to do. I have to go back. Stop
yeah, so
sharing.
you can,
I go back,
yes,
I move,
go to the
yes.
video.
Yeah, I am. I come back, share the screen. It is here, this one. Make it bigger. I hope you see.
No.
Not yet.
Wait
a bit.
See the video. This time we are not able to see the video.
You don't see now?
No.
Alors, let me share. Yes, I haven't clicked on, oh, it's my fault. I haven't clicked on share. You should see it soon. Yes, now you should see.
No.
No? I make a video.
When you share the screen, you got to go and
once all that's done.
Do you see it
two
now?
check boxes. Please click on the two check boxes. Audio.
Yes. If
you don't check on that, it will not show.
Okay, a few seconds. So I go back. Talk. Few seconds. I stop sharing. Voila. Now share the screen.
Yeah. And
two boxes are check. They are share.
Then you play the video.
And normally talk. My video is turning. It doesn't
not
work.
Showing.
Yes. No, you know, it is loading, I guess. I hope it will not be long. A few seconds. It's about Mr. Brady Ellison. So Mr. Brady Ellison will explain his shooting technique. You can watch this video, it's very, very good. We'll not see all video, but when you have time, please do it. And I don't know why. It's still loading. Do you see my screen at the moment?
We see a blank screen.
Blank. I don't know. So I will stop sharing, do it again once. If not, I will ask you to do it. The video of Mr. Brady Ellison.
If you can tell me the URL, I can just quickly go to the YouTube, take out and share.
Yeah, you know, on the Word document I sent you, the last, it's coming.
Yeah.
Up, few seconds. I try, now it should work. Share, two boxes are okay, share. Normally you should see the video now.
Watch the point of my clicker. Some people do, some people don't.
So for me, he's explaining something interesting here.
Yeah, we can hear his sound on the video.
Ah, okay, shame. Anyway, it's not a big problem. He just said he watched, at the end of the draw, he watched his point and clicker. He wants to see his point at 1 millimeter from the clicker. So this is something we have to deal with all archers. Some people, some archers, if they watch the point arriving at the clicker, they are a bit disturbed. Their fluidity is not so good. And when they move their eye down to the clicker and up to the side, they change their effort. And they sometimes, even some, reduce the draw instead of increasing. But many archers, especially in Korea and Mr. Ellison, finish the draw watching the point under the clicker, so they know that now they are in a usual draw length. They have a usual draw length, so they have the classical effort of expansion to do, no more, no less. It helps them to be more regular.
I watch the point of my clicker until I am right on the edge of my clicker, until I have less than a millimeter to expand, a millimeter to expand through that clicker.
1 millimeter. In many national teams, we work to have 2 millimeters. But this guy is so overnatural. He's trying to have only 1 millimeter to expand. So since it is an expansion involving all the body, even 2 millimeters is nothing. It's not a movement. It is some sort of expansion. This is something Mr. Brady Ellison will explain. Even if you don't see the picture, it's not a problem.
And then once I get there, then I look at the target and I start aiming.
Alors,
once I start,
another point important. Do you know how many things we have, archers has to do when the string arrives on the face, when we anchor? How many things we have to do? Minimum 6. Some people 8. Yes. We have to anchor. We have to align the string, to readjust the sight in the center of the gold. We have to hold the breeze. We have to start aiming, because aiming is not watching. Of course, when we draw, we watch the sight and the target and all. But aiming is when we put mental focus on the visual activity. We have to start expanding. Some people, before expanding, have a rapid check to let down or continue. So it's already 7. And there are even more. Watch the clicker. It's another one, 8. So you see, from him, he watched the clicker. And after, when he watched the clicker, he starts to aim.
Aiming, from then on, I actually don't try to move.
I don't try to move. I think this is one important thing for us coaches. Expanding is not really something that move. We don't see the string moving on the chin, on the chest. We shouldn't see anything moving, head going forward, body leaning backward, shoulder going up, elbow going down. No, it's not a movement. It is an expansion. We keep the same form and we expand.
I try to pull through the clicker. I don't try to move this half. I don't try to push with my bow arm. I actually just sit. And because of my
very well explained
alignment being past the arrow of the string and my core being tight and the body position that I've set up, that last part of execution that I was talking about earlier is I just focus on the feeling of my body and aiming. My blood pressure and my...
You just focus on being the same, keep the same along the expansion. This is more or less what he said. I invite you to share this, Sanjeeva, to share the link of this video. Sure. And invite all coaches to work on this concept. And this concept that is now here, we finish almost. I think you see the PowerPoint on your screen?
No, you got to again go back and share the screen.
Because my box are checked, the two boxes are checked, and it is.
Can you go out again and share the screen? Yeah, now share the screen. Click.
So share, talk. Pardon, I put the wrong one. Share. You see or not?
No.
Slideshow. I try slideshow in case. No, you don't see, eh? But if you don't see, I will try to explain as much as I can like this, but
no, we are not able to see.
Not so easy. A few seconds, I try to think. What is my body position? Ah, here. Expansion, deformation, less. Slideshow. Current slide. A few seconds. Something wrong again.
Try again, please.
I stop sharing and try again. Eh?
Yeah.
Sir.
Stop sharing. You see me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you have the best. Share. Allez, we go. It's not this one. This one. Deformation less. Yes, I think this is one. No?
No.
You haven't?
We can't see.
So I try something else again. Talk.
Go to share screen. Then you can
My
open.
two boxes are open. And this one you don't see also.
No.
Sorry, I don't know what to do because my two boxes are
Sanjeev,
open.
sir, if you have the presentation, can you share so that Pascal?
No, he is not.
Maybe from you, Sanjeeva, presentation number 37.
Can you, 1 minute, have you, it's still not, your presentation has not come to me. That's the problem.
Oh,
otherwise I could have
shared. Okay.
It was a big file, so it has not come.
Yes. What can I do? So anyway, I'll try to explain. When we analyze the efficiency of an expansion, first we check the body. That means the body should remain straight, upright. Okay? Each direction should stay the same towards the target. It should not drift progressively. The hand on string, the hand on the bow, the hand on string and under the chin should remain in the same form and position. The string on the face, the string on the chest should remain at the same spot all the way through. when we watch the elbow, steering elbow should not move because it is an expansion of about 2 millimeters involving all the body. So elbow should not really move. When some people say, touch my scapula, we will see my scapula moving, I don't think it's a good system. No, scapula should not really move, or if they move, and probably they move, I agree, they move so few. Each scapula may be 1 millimeter. We cannot see it. We cannot feel it. It's impossible. It's too small. All should remain the same. Expansion is not moving. It's an expansion. It's a kind of increase of inner power, inner energy, whatever. Nevertheless, for new beginners, they cannot have only 2 millimeters to expand. Someone who uses a clicker for the first time have at least half an arrow point to get. Some people even more than 1 arrow point to get at the clicker. So yes, at the beginning they move, but the coach has to help them to be regular in the draw. Maybe I should put my screen and you see better because you cannot see. It's important that the draw, when you arrive here, you see me now on the screen? Do you see my face?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we arrive here, we have to help archers to be consistent in draw. As long as archers are inconsistent in the draw lengths, their effort production during expansion will be different. And even if they release well, the arrow will not be at the same place in the target because they have provided a different action, a different effort. So what is important first is to check, to help archers to have a consistent draw and very close to the clicker. And after that, expand with no movement, keeping the same shape. Just like if you blew in a Luftballon, a balloon, a bit, voilà. Enlarge a bit, all enlarge, vertically also, not in any direction. Very few, because we have maximum 2 millimeters to get at the clicker. Eh? It's a shame you cannot, I try again to share my screen, and if it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
Because I would like to show you this exercises for new people, so share. What happened? No?
It's not showing, no. So you need to tick on both the checkbox.
The checkbox are, I do it again.
After sharing the screen.
So share computer sound and optimize screen sharing for video, box are checked.
Then go and open the PowerPoint.
So I remove them first. Stop sharing and do it again. Talk, check the box, share, and try it. Last time. If not, if it doesn't work, doesn't work. Eh?
Yeah, it is showing.
Yes?
See, yeah.
Oh, good. I try to have it bigger. A second.
Yeah, you can go on the slideshow.
This was, I don't know if you see this one.
We can see, no. You can show it this way only because now it's clear. When you're going to that, at least we are able to see. So you can even show like that. Go to the next slides, keep on going, telling us.
This one is okay, you see it.
Yeah, this is okay, we can see.
You see it here. Maybe I move like this. Yeah, You see the body keeps the same shape.
Yeah.
Head compared to the body, hand on the bow, and or on the bottom picture, maybe I can put it a little bigger. A few seconds, I try.
The only...
I try to make it bigger, view.
So there's a slideshow option I can see on the tab.
Yeah, but it is coming clear here. You know, Biswajit, at least when he's going on that, we are not able to see.
Okay.
Here it's more clear.
We let it here. Okay. So you see string on the face, string on the chest, all these should not move.
Yeah, so what you are trying to tell here, Pascal, is that while you are pushing, so a person is pulling the bow and here you're pulling the elbow. So you are saying both are expanding in that direction, and it's basically once you are coming to the anchor with the 1 millimeter of clicker, is just an expansion of the shoulder.
Absolutely.
Right? But because of the back tension, it is also moving backward.
Yeah, yes, this is. So here we see coach training with elastic, whatever, especially the bottom one. The bottom one is quite good. It is in Iran, this one, to help archer to feel what is expanding, especially horizontally like this. You see?
What you can do, Pascal, is if you go down, there's a percentage there. So from 63, you are at
this is what
3% downside. You see, there's a down, there's a thing which shows 63%. You can make it to just drag it and make it to 70 to 80%. So it's.
I come back a bit.
Drag it down, drag it towards the right. So you can make it to 80%. So it will fill the screen. If
yes, but if I do this, I have a problem, because if I do this,
no issue. Just go to the next slide. We can understand from this. Go ahead. You please go to the next slide.
Voila.
And explain.
Well, it's almost finished now. These are different things to educate.
So again, just to Pascal, if you look at the second, when you are putting your hand on the back, you know, deltoids. So while the expansion is happening at the elbow, so when you are breaking, it is expanding at the elbow, but you are feeling the back pressure moving.
That is, here we oppose a physical resistance to help how to, for the top left, how to fight this resistance with the string side, on the top right with the bow side. And I insist on this on a lot. Unfortunately, I haven't found a very good video from Frangilli technique. But you know Frangilli, he has published a book. Frangilli, anchor with a thumb behind his neck a bit, and he mainly push. He mainly push the blade, the bow blade away. It's not a bad technique, because in our top body, with arm, we are stronger to push than to pull. If you go in a gymnasium, you do bench press, for example, you can use your body weight quite rapidly, but to pull is not so easy. So the problem I don't know why, after the power archery from Dave Kegi, many countries focus on string blade, how to pull back, to pull the string with the string side. Yes, but to push on the bow side is important. So this is why now, like Mr. Ellison, we focus more on an expansion coming from the muscles along our chest. So they are more balanced, and we use some sort of expansion. Here, what we see on this different slide is many different tips to train. but this slide is more important. For example, on the top left, the coach put a stick, we don't see it very well, but it's a broomstick, on the shoulders of these archers. And the coach check if the stick keeps the same direction all the expansion long. Okay? It is a bit the same on the top right. With elastic, we fix an arrow on the shoulders, and the arrow has more extension on the bow side. I want to see, you see the knock of the arrow is on string side, but the arrow is long, so the archer can see the point of the arrow. When he is at full draw, he can see the point if the point stay in the same direction. If the point moves when he is expanding, it's not a good expansion. He should not move. Yeah? The lady Kovac, who was on national Ukrainian team many years, has in her back a laser. You can see a green dot on the left of the target face. You see the green dot? This is a dot from the laser. So she has a laser in her back, and she wants that the laser keeps the same direction. On the bottom right, same, it's a laser fixed on head. And when this archer is a pal archer, this one, when this archer expands, head should keep the same direction, not only shoulders, but head also. Because if one is moving, the alignment eye, string, sight, target is compromised. Okay? I think that is, I think I was enough long and you have enough. We spent about 1 hour. You know, this is not important, so I stop sharing, talk. Oh, stop sharing. So now maybe some time for question answer.
Okay, so we can ask people to give their questions. So can I request all the coaches, if they can send in the questions, we can ask Pascal and he can explain.
Yeah, explain, and please speak slowly.
Yes.
Because in India you speak very fast. Very fast, difficult.
So one of the question, Pascal, is while in expansion, do both the shoulder blades should touch each other?
If they touch, maybe at the beginning, you want to mean the blades, eh? The blades.
Yeah.
Yes, the blade. So at the end of the draw, they can, probably, but not at the end of expansion, because the bow blade move away to target. It doesn't come like this.
Correct.
If you do this, you reduce your draw. No, you have to increase your draw. So at the end of expansion, no.
So what Pascal is saying here is that because your bow, Pascal, I'll just repeat it. What you are trying to tell is, since the bow hand is pushing towards the target, so you are expanding, and therefore the shoulder blade is pushing in the direction of the target. And that's the reason the blades cannot come together, because one blade is already pushing in the direction of the target, right?
Yes.
So the next question is, how do we differentiate between expansion and stretching a string? Because most of the players are not able to understand the difference between that.
Stretching the string. What do you mean?
You told about a string, you break a string and see, you talked about in one slide that you are pulling a string, left hand, and then you break. So automatically both the hands go outward, expand.
Sorry, I don't understand the question. So expansion again is a bit like Mr. Brady Ellison explained very well. Forget something. It's not a movement. It's not a movement. It's not trying to move one side, two parts of the body. No, it's not this. It is to keep the same body, but progressively all the body expand, but it expand balance, keeping the same. That means I remember one coach, a Korean coach. The Korean coach removed his shirt. So he was topless, and he shot and he said, "What did you see moving?" And we say, "Nothing."
Mr. Pascal,
he said, "Yes, you're good."
Mr. Pascal, San Diego joined from Mexico. So can I request Biswajit to unmute San Diego so that he can answer? Biswajit?
Yes.
Biswajit, can you unmute San Diego?
Sir, I'm just trying. So
San Diego.
San Diego.
You're here?
Sir?
Are you here?
Biswajit,
Santiago?
can you unmute Santiago?
Is it D or T? I can't find him on the participant list.
It's there. Santiago.
Okay, I got it.
Santiago. Avitia.
Hi.
Yes, he's very good.
Welcome, Mr. Santiago.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Professor Pascal.
Sorry.
Thank you, India, for the invitation here in the course. There is a singularity in the expansion that Pascal said in the last few slides, that we must have balance. If we only just use one blade, the archery is unbalanced. They don't have balance, so the expansion doesn't work. There is a result of the force that keep the two blades are working together to the target, forward the target. But if we only use the string blade, we unbalance all the system. There is a process that we can use here in the expansion, that we can teach to the students, that the bow blade moves to the target and the string blade join the bow blade and together moves to the target. With
Mr. Santiago,
okay.
Could you explain this in a simpler way? Everybody has understood that when you're pushing to the target, the bow blade is moving toward the target. No problem there. Everybody understands that.
Okay.
When you're talking about the string blade, there's a confusion. One is
okay.
Because
I can share a video.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
If you can allow me to share, because it's invalidate.
Biswajit, can you give him the sharing option?
Yes, I've already done it. You can share now.
Yeah, you can share, Mr. Santiago.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share this video that I'm
very good.
Ecuador. If you can see it, this one. These one are the anatomy of the blades.
Okay.
So we have arrows here that I wrote in the back of the student. So I can show you how the string blade works. There is a point here in the low trapezius that the blade must go, because if that position, the blade goes, the full expansion is okay. that Pascal said, if we don't have a good draw, we don't have a good expansion. So we can have the location of the string blade. So the scapula activates when the archer has the full draw.
Correct.
So the scapula, the string scapula, when you have the full draw and you start to expand, join the bow scapula. Okay.
So, Mr. San Diego, what you are saying is the scapula is going to pull the latissimus dorsi muscles are beneath. So, if the arrow you see, the scapula is moving towards the latissimus dorsi to the dot position. So, that is where it is basically expanding in the lower direction. Is it okay? While the
no, the low direction. The scapula has to have a accurate point that activates. Okay, there is an activation. Okay, so I'm gonna there.
Correct.
So
yeah, so it is pushing towards the target.
Yeah.
So both the scapula, one is the shoulder, the bow scapula is moving towards the target, and the string scapula is also moving towards the target.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, and just I want to add something. It's a very popular technique and very efficient, but there is a risk. The coach should be aware. All body can twist, rotate a bit. If you move all scapula, both scapula, in the same direction, your shoulders have a tendency to drift, to twist a bit. But just this.
Yes.
If we avoid this, it's a very good technique. Very good.
If we avoid this, that Pascal said that the body of the athlete, the archer, can move. It can be doing a torque between the bow, the shoulders. So there is a risk that we don't have a good alignment. That Pascal says we must have a good alignment, the chest, the string of the nose. See the only fundamentals that the expansion we need to have a good expansion. Okay.
Yeah, so what you're trying to say is if at the trunk, there could be a torque if you're trying to, that is a motion which you're talking to, if you are trying to, therefore you have to be a balance between the shoulders.
Yes, we must have a balance. If we don't have a balance, there is an inefficient technique. Okay, I don't know if it is okay, Professor Pascal, with this. And
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Continue. I will try to show the last part of Mr. Ellison about this.
Okay,
He's explaining.
I'm gonna share the. Okay.
347. It's about here. Okay, I will try to have this and share my video.
So Santiago, one question is that I come to 1 millimeter of the clicker point, but after I find it difficult to expand. What do I do?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, I'm able to have that 1 millimeter click point. So you are able to draw and come to the 1 millimeter click point at anchor.
Yeah, I have
expansion is not smooth. It's
it works good. If when you have a full draw and the expansion, we have the arrow that has a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters to the clicker. So we can expand good in a good time. It's not necessary to be fast and to be slow. It's the necessary time to have the fundamental things. They have the sight on the spot, have the alignment of the string, have no movement, the string of the chest, the elbow is not moving, we need to have that balance. That's what Pascal says. The expansion didn't see it's a micro movement, like a mini. But we have here in Mexico, we have a lot of archers that the full draw has a distance at 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters maximum of the clicker.
Yes, soon, even if technique that generates some little misalignment and so on, if we are very few to expand, the difference on target is very small. The problem is when we have a long expansion to provide, there is a lot of chance that finally we'll finish the release with a different orientation, shape, and whatever. This is a problem. I will try to go back a bit on the end of the video of Mr. Brady Ellison, if I can. So we try, if not, you will see.
Mr. Pascal, there's a question for you and Santiago. What they say while you are looking at an angular motion, which Mr. Ki-Shik Lee talks about, will you come to 1 millimeter at the anchor? And thereafter, the motion is angular. If you look at it, it's angular because the scapula is moving back, the lattice by dorsi is contracting. So while the push is very true, it is moving towards the target. So yes, that scapula is, that shoulder blade is moving towards the target. But on the right hand side, on the string side, there's when you come to anchor, set on the anchor, hold, and then you are trying to pull back with your back muscles and the lattice by dorsi scapula coming back. So that is what he's talking about, an angular motion there. So here, little confusion in terms of expansion of the shoulder blade. While the expansion is only 1 millimeter, so actually it expands 1 millimeter, then it goes backward because of the back muscles contracting. What do you have to say on that?
So I have tried to introduce 3 big champions. Olympic champion in 2012, Ho Jing-Ek. Frangili, I haven't found a good video who is pushing. So Ho Jing-Ek moves the blade away. Frangili just push many on the both sides. And Mr. Brady Ellison make another technique. He make all body, no move, just expand. As you see, there are different techniques that work very well. So what is important is what we started with. What are the key elements? What are the fundamentals of a good expansion? A few to expand. Nothing should move, change of position. You understand? And have 2 to 4 seconds to click. With no hand modification on the bow, no hand modification on the string, on the face, under the chin, shoulders keeping the same level, orientation, and so on. So maybe if it works here, I don't know.
Earlier is I just focus on the feeling of my body and aiming. My blood pressure and my body while holding my breath actually will expand and get big enough that I'll come through the clicker and I just have to relax. So as I'm coming through the clicker, I don't have any extra tension built up. The reason that I don't try to come through the clicker any different way is because if you have tension building up in any different direction, when you make a mistake, that mistake's going to be bigger.
We avoid to generate any variation in expansion because if there is a variation in your expansion, the impact will be different.
They look different than, say, a Korean style shooter where they look the same every single time. But, you know, over the last 8 or 9 years, I've been very consistent.
For example, Mr. You will see on this video, sorry, I tried to go back on you. Few seconds. Stop video. You will see, for example, his hips are not oriented to the target. They are oriented way on the left. And his shoulders are in the target. That means he has a torsion, a twist on his core above his hips. He has a twist like this, but the body
so it's
stays.
like a coiling.
Yeah, he's staying like this. Yes, there are many techniques. We can even, I'm sure, add any other technique. What is important is to see what are the fundamentals. And we saw with this list, you remember the fundamentals? Yeah? And that is.
There's a question to Mr. Pascal, ki what should be the pressure on the grip?
Ah, yes. And it's a shame I haven't Frangilli, because now you have many archers who use a high grip. Huh? I don't know how to say this on the video. Why not? But Frangilli, for example, has a very low like this. But the question is not really the shape of the hand. The question is about pressure. So what we teach for beginners is to have the hand very soft like this. No hand, because if there is tension in your hand, you have to repeat this tension. And sometimes it's difficult to repeat during several, many arrows, and when you are stressed. And if there is a tension, it's not sure the tension is right in the proper axis. Maybe your tension in your hand make your bow, you see, moving a bit like this. So you have to repeat the same effort in your hand in the same direction, same intensity. So this is why most of us, we try to have bow hand very relaxed like this. So that means there is no real pressure. The bow come, the bow go. Hand is, we don't relax the hand. It is relaxed. It is already relaxed on the bow. We try, you know, in all activities with an instrument, with a device, the teacher, the coach has to teach, be relaxed on this. It could be on a ski, it could be with a wheel, a car, on a horse, on a racket. We have to teach to be relaxed. The problem in archery, we cannot be totally relaxed because we have to provide an effort. But there is a difference between nervous tension and muscular contraction. Yes, we need muscular contraction, but the muscular contraction should be as far as possible from the bow, riser, and string. There is some, definitively. Most of the efforts are behind the shoulder in the back, far from the bow. If they are too close from the bow, there is possibility of inconsistency and difference.
So another question was that what should be the pressure on a string pulling fingers?
This finger, what is the distribution? This is the question? Is it the question?
The question is not very clear. It just says, yeah, you can talk about the distribution, and also while you're expanding, what should be the shoulders and the back expanding, or is it also so therefore the pressure on the fingers he's asking.
If you see, for example, Ojing Ek is a bit like this, you know, I don't know. Oh, sorry, I missed my point. A bit like this. a bit. See the finger here? Huh? So what is important again is consistency. Whatever the distribution is consistent. Usually for beginner, we teach this, we teach this. That means the nail of this finger should face the bow. This, like this. Not like this. Because if it is like this, this finger push the string this way. Understand? Instead of hooking, like this. So it's important to teach the novice to involve the three finger as equal as possible, because if you let them shooting thousands of arrows like this, it's very difficult to change for that. It disturbs too much the feeling of the archers. When they have, if they are experimented archers, don't change it. Just help them to be consistent, whatever it is, the distribution. But for beginners, it's important to involve the three fingers. Because now when we shoot 400 arrows per day, sometimes 600 arrows per day, if we have not a good balanced grip, we could have damage here, injuries. Yes.
So the next question is that while you are training young archers, when should you start telling them about expansion technique?
How we teach expansion technique with beginner?
Yeah, beginners. When should you speak? Should it be in the beginner? Should it be at the middle level? Should it be at the elite level? So one question is that.
So first, before teaching expansion, it's important that first they arrive here with a consistent draw. Because if once they finish their draw with this and once is it, they provide different expansion and it's difficult. So first they have to be consistent, keep the body straight and not move like this and so on first. After that, when we introduce the clicker, I like to put two clickers. Two clickers, you see, like this. Two clickers, 1, 2. You put two clickers a bit like this, click, 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 click. And as them come to full draw, look at your two clicker, click, click. Because if you have only one clicker, what they do, they expand, click, move the side, release. Expansion is dead. They don't, when they relax these fingers, they relax here. This is not good. They should relax these fingers, keeping this working, all this. Yeah? So two clicker is very good. Now, how to get the two clickers? Unfortunately, you haven't seen on the video, I don't think, I'm not sure. We have two assistants, one in front, one in back, both with an elastic. One elastic attached here, one assistant pulls this elastic. Another assistant has an elastic attached here to the sling, okay, and pull the elastic. So both pull the elastic. We have to relax here. This is important. As long as the trapezius are stiff, expansion is not efficient. This, we have a line here. We have to use the muscle below this line. If you use the muscle above this line, you squeeze, you reduce. So this should be relaxed. Voilà. And with the assistance of the, with two assistants pulling each side, we start to have this movement. I hope I answer.
What should be the breathing status during expansion?
Breathing?
Yeah, during expansion.
Yeah. So you remember when we arrive here, 6 to 8 things to do. We need a plan. If there is no plan, huge risk of target panic. Mainly target panic comes from people who have no plan, so they aim too early, they aim before putting all in place. Okay? So one of the 6 to 8 things to do is breathing. Usually somewhere here or here, depends, there is a little air going out and hold, not block. Block is too stiff. Air should be able to move a bit in your tube, but it's not really exhaling. No, it's holding. Holding with lung not totally full and not empty, of course. And this holding is usually somewhere here. We relax a little bit of air and all, exhale.
How can you focus on expansion during windy condition? And sometimes it is hard to even be stable for 1 to 2 seconds.
Yes, very good, this, very good, very good. So this is why, for example, if I can, I don't know if it works, few seconds, I try to see, no, it's not this one, I come back. Oops, sorry, sharing, stop, and the share video is closed. Okay. Talk, I come back. No, yeah, this one. Where it is? Few seconds, I'm trying to share if I can. Voilà. Can you see this slide on your screen?
No, can you share it properly? It's still not clear. Yeah, now you can see.
You embarrass me from the beginning. I try again, share. My two boxes are open. Talk, share. Should come. No? No?
It came the
Nothing?
other time.
No, it doesn't come. So I try to explain.
No, it came the first time. Again, try.
Again, try.
Yeah.
So I stop. I see share my screen. Two boxes are okay. I select share. Normally, I did all. Anyway, the slide is showing some intermediate archers. They are not really beginners, this one, on unbalanced platform. Unbalanced, that means...
Can't see the slide.
You see?
No, you're not seeing the
slide.
slide.
No, you don't see. You don't see. Okay. We have a different unbalanced platform. For example, an inner tube from a car. We put a wooden board on the tube on the floor. And we ask archer to step on the board. So all is moving. And we have different unbalanced board. Wobbling board, we call this. Some are wobbling from left to right foot. Some are moving from heels to toes. We have different things. So first we try this especially when they are full draw, not far from the target, look at the clicker. directly or with a mirror or with video, and observe the progression of the point under the clicker while they are shooting on an unbalanced platform. After that, we have another exercises. We attach here a light elastic. And also light elastic, sorry, first we attach the elastic on the body. And we, with two assistants, we pull the elastic in different direction to move the body, not on an unbalanced platform now, on the ground. We move with elastic. That means we make the body moving. And same, first archer has to look at the clicker, try to be consistent. And finally, we have elastic attached to the bow or bow arm, and we pull laterally the elastic like this, like this. Yeah. This is how we train people to expand in a, how to say, in an unstable environment. This is something we developed in Canada, because in Canada, winter is very long. We shoot indoor from late September to early May. So we have many months indoor, and archers lost the habit, the skill to shoot in the wind. So we have developed this kind of exercises.
Which draw is good, either by pulling the string from up or from the shoulder level? Biomechanically, should we draw, when we drawing the arrow, should we draw straight at the shoulder level, or shall we draw from top to and come to anchor?
Yeah, most of archers and coaches, we teach to start with a little high and draw down, because it facilitates to use the muscles below this line. Understand? When you do this, voilà. We use the muscles that are lower. So the muscles that are in your, around your chest or in your back here. Yeah. If we draw with the side directly in the goal, we have a tendency to contract more the superior trapezius, and expansion is not so good. And especially in compound, almost all we go, because it's so difficult, we draw like this, which is not allowed by rules. We should not have a high draw, take care. So we have to keep the arrow almost parallel to the floor. Not like this. Huh? Yeah, it's more popular, definitively, yes.
What is the average angle of string hand elbow during anchor and holding position?
Voila, the measure of the angle.
Yeah, the elbow, the string elbow, what should be the angle? Generally, what should be the, when you come to anchor and look at the angle of the string elbow, either should be straight at 90 degrees, up, down?
Okay, I try to make sure I understand the question. So the question is about this angle.
No, the elbow. The elbow angle at 90 degrees, should it be up, down? No, to the, when you come to the arrow line. So you look at the arrow line, when you're drawing to the arrow line and you come to the full anchor position. So where should the elbow? Should it be in the line of the arrow? Should it be slightly? Yes, 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 yes.
This one. Huh? Yeah. So this is again, please watch the video of Mr. Brady Ellison. He is trying to have his elbow a little here. In fact, not really. Most of the archers, when you attach a rope on the limb, like this, you align the rope in the middle of the bow from behind, And normally, okay, the rope should be here, right after the ball.
Yeah.
For recurve, it's depending the physical constitution is okay. For women, very often a bit more like this, because the string on the chest doesn't allow to be so open because it's blocked here. Understand? Block here. Eh?
Yeah.
Very often women is so for women, if it is in this line, if the rope is between this and this, it's okay. Eh? For men, it's usually more about here, but pending the body constitution. People who are short and massive, same. It should at least remain in this expansion between this and this. For bare bow, here. For compound, about here. Yes, depends.
The other question is that generally when you increase the stabilization, the weight of the stabilization, it is easier to draw. What should be the ideal weight of the stabilizers, the weights on the stabilizers?
This, it would be a long answer. I had the chance that my father developed the V-bar, you understand? And so on. So we were fond of stabilizers, a lot. In fact, stabilizers are important for keeping the bow in the same direction when the string comes back. Okay? Because since the string does this, the bow has a tendency to oscillate during the propulsion. So with if we create inertia with long stabilizer, and this is the most important one, the long stabilizer, it helps to keep the bow to the target during the firing process. So for beginners, we introduce a stabilizer quite soon. So it helps to keep the hand relaxed first. And also we hit less the arm guard with a long stabilizer. After that, the use of V-bar is very popular. Put another small one at the top, at the bottom, if possible. This is depend how you want your bow go. If you want your bow going straight and vertical, not doing this, but like this, okay? We need some weight in the back of the bow, like V-bar and whatever, and not to avoid to put too much weight in the front. But if you archers like a bow that drops like this and not go straight, in this case, we can use a long V-bar extension with light mass on the V-bar and so on. So this depends really the feeling. Not only the feeling, but what is the choice of stabilizer, the combination of stabilizer that allow archers to stay mentally the same during firing process. For the follow through, keep the same and not change. Difficult to answer like this, sorry.
One of the question is that when you are talking about expansion, should we not shoot by raising the chest? Will it change the direction of the arrow while using heavy poundage?
I don't understand.
Looking at expansion, when you're coming to anchor, you come to anchor. So should you expand the chest when you say about the expansion?
Yes, take care. Expanding the chest, the word is maybe not the proper one. I explain. I can expand my chest by doing this. this no. It's not elevating the center of gravity and bumping the top. No. This should remain relaxed. So it's more like this, you know. When we, you know, you see my width here, width. If I lower my shoulder, it's more large. More large. So we shouldn't go up. If we go up, we shrink. If we go down, we enlarge. You see? So it's more about this. And of course, on top of this basic expansion, let's say, we can use some little movement of scapula. It's possible, but it's not the main focus. The focus is really on the chest. When we do this, for example, what we do, you see my shoulder? They are going down, look. You see? If we go up, no, there is nothing. We have to, like this. Yes.
Some archers are closing one eye and aiming with another eye to set the target. Is it correct or wrong?
It's not really expansion, this. But if you look at the video that are available on YouTube, you will see most of the elite archers have two eyes open. Most of them. While beginner squeeze a lot of tension. A big difference between elite archers and beginners on this. So, aiming is mainly put a mental focus on the visual activity. That means when we draw the bow back, we look the sight going close to the target, of course, but it's not aiming. Aiming, we start when we are here. At one moment, there is a little tension in ball eye, a little ball eye, that make a narrow external attention. Narrow external attention. Understand? Okay. This can be done with two eyes open or one eye closed. Some people have difficulties because, for example, they are left hand and they have the right hand dominant or the opposite. For them, it's probably better to lower, you see, lower the lid, but with not too much. No, we don't need this. Too much tension, no, lower. If they can avoid two eyes open, they will have more space references to balance their body. Also, narrow external attention is mainly, for example, for archer to focus on the sight and the target and so on. But when you are in narrow external attention, we are not in broad internal attention. This is something we'll cover next time on psychological workshop. There is a balance to find out between attention on me, attention on sight and target. And what is important for beginner is attention here on us. When body has learned how to shoot, okay. Now, when there is this automatism, we can give more focus on aiming, that means on narrow external attention. But again, it can be achieved both eyes open or one eye closed. Both eyes open allow more attention on Earth and more space references for body stability.
Which muscles should you use during expansion?
Yeah, good question. So there are different possibilities, of course. Again, muscles are below this line, not above this line. So usually there are muscles here around the thorax. On this both side, I don't know the name in Latin, I think it's serratus latissimus, something like this. It is a muscle that is attached on the edge of the blade, pass under the blade, and finish here like a teeth shape. So when this muscle contract, move the blade away. Okay? So for both sides, it's quite obvious. For string side, it depends the technique, but we could do the same. Use the same muscles here that move the blade away, like Mr. O Jing Ek. And in this case, all your body works symmetrically. But many archers use back tension, blade like this, while they move also here. So it's not symmetric. It could work. It generates a very nice release and all, but you need a very strong core to keep your, for example, your hips and shoulders always in the same disposition, not in the same alignment. For example, Mr. Brady Ellison has his hip here, shoulder like this. Understand? Yeah. So it depends the blade, the expansion on the string side, but definitively use around your thorax. Posterior part of the shoulder also, posterior deltoid definitively. But you know, when you probably notice this, you are coaches, it's difficult to speak about muscles to archers. Why? Because in your back, the muscles overlap. So they don't know which one is we are referring to. It's better to speak about movement, about expansion, what you should feel in your body. If you speak about muscles, very often we confuse the student because they have no, how to say, anatomical education, and even the feeling is bad.
One question is that while you are expanding, your side moves during execution. During the expansion phase, the side moves, and therefore arrow lands where the sight is. So what do you do to ensure that you are more stable?
Very good. So side should not move. I want to explain. We saw some exercises. Unfortunately, share screen doesn't work well. For putting a laser here, laser on the shoulder, and so on. But without laser, we have exercises. For example, draw the bow back. Put your sight in the target. Close your eyes. Expand. Release. Start at short distance, maybe 18 meters indoor, and progressively we can do much further. Even with eyes closed, the short is not so good, of course, but should remain around the target, around close to the middle of the target in blue, something like this, blue, red, gold. If systematically sight go down, problem archers is doing 8 when he is aiming. When he pulls, sight go down, and he has a tendency to go up and go down, go up, go down, go down. So he's doing some 8, going down, going up, going down, going up. Or if he's deviating on the left, he make horizontal 8 or diagonally 8. No, expansion, a proper expansion should keep a line. You remember eye, string, sight, target, even eyes closed. That means the body should learn, the muscular memory should learn what is an efficient expansion. Even eyes closed, we should remain toward the target. If not, if the expansion make sight going down or left or right, it's not a proper expansion. We have to change it.
If both the side forces work, but we are not able to control, if both the side forces, the one pushing towards the target and the one pulling back, if both forces are working, but when we creep, if you're not comfortable.
So this concept of both forces, we use it. I use it at the beginning of the introduction. But have you seen what say Mr. Brady Ellison? He say, when I'm full draw, I try to do nothing. I just augment, increase a bit my inner energy. That is. But we don't try to match this way, this way, this way. This is difficult. It's better to have something that expand overall, an overall expansion. It's not one side and another side. We use this a bit at the beginning for archers, for beginners to learn how to do on the bow, on the string, etc. But progressively with elite archers is not this two things. It's one. We like this. Sorry, I missed the question. It was so when we have
question
this
about creeping. When you are at full
creeping,
expanding in both the directions, sometimes you creep. So how do you avoid creeping?
So creeping, the most important creeping, it's a shame I cannot share my screen, is this one. Coach should watch this or videotape this. If during release we have a little, oh, this is bad. This elbow, this is good. And not, many archers who release like this is because first they do this. They do this first and bring hand back after, of course. So this is why we suggested to you, when you introduce a clicker, use 2 clickers. Click, 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 click. If you have 1 clicker only from the beginning, what happens? They click, rectify, release. When they rectify, they creep. So they don't release in an expansion. When you use 2 or 3 clickers, but 2 is okay, click, 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 click. We force people to release. Also, we can train with form master. You remember form master? Harness with elastic here. You remember? Or string, not an elastic, string. And release. So the string pulls the harness like this. So it's some sort of plyometry strengthening to be dynamic here. I suppose you know that.
How much shooting should an archer do? How many arrows should he shoot?
So very advanced people don't need to shoot so much. What is so much? At the moment, sport has changed a lot, archery also. In the past, we had very talented competition between talented people. Not now. Now the competition is between the professionalization level of archers, athletes, and organization. So that means now I don't think for elite archers, making a training plan with less than 1,000 euros per week is not valid. It's minimum 1,000 euros per week. But many teams are much more. Some teams are practicing 5, even some 6 days a week, you know. And the average, pending the experience of archers, very advanced archers, maybe an average of 200 arrows per day. I don't say they shoot 2 arrows every day, 200 arrows every day. No, no, no. Some day a little less, but some day maybe 400 arrows. The average for some is low. The lowest is about 200 arrows. Average daily, average, but not 200 every day. No, 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 no. But for young one, for example, in sports schools, for example, who are still young, we are close to 400 arrows a day now. Average, 400 arrow average, daily average. But some days they shoot 600. Yeah, and some day only 200. Only. Yeah.
Thank you, Pascal. I think so. We had a wonderful session with everybody.
So.
And of course, we look forward to the other session, which we are going to have it. I know we had some difficulty in terms of your video not working, your PowerPoint not working. So my simple request will be that if you can send the video and the PowerPoint much earlier.
Before, okay.
Before 23rd, so we can check it out. We can play from here. It is easier to play from here because then we can, you know, slides are clear and we can play. Otherwise, you may have a little difficulty there. So we can play it out from here so that whichever slide you want, we can go to that slide.
Okay, we'll do this.
Also, we'll request that if you could share the presentation, then we can